All right, back to the breaking news that we brought you earlier this hour. ICE agents arrested an MS-13 kingpin in Nebraska. He has now been identified as Melvin Varela Perez. He has been on El Salvador's most wanted list for nearly a decade, but was somehow released into the United States after he crossed the border illegally in 2023. Let's bring in White House border czar Tom Homan. Tom, let me just put up the record here of this guy that somehow got missed. First of all, here's the mugshot from his arrest in Oklahoma. Oklahoma. Now here is Omaha, Nebraska. I'm sorry. Here is the picture from 2016. This was put out by the National Police. He's on the top 100, Los 100 Más Buscados. Then here's another notice from 2019 looking for the same guy, and another one from 2019 that was put out by Crime Stoppers looking for this guy. And yet somehow, Tom, when he came across the border illegally in 2023, he was paroled into the country. How in the world could that have happened?
Well, look, this is just one example of what I've been saying for the last 4 years. The Biden administration lied to the American people. When they said everybody they released in the country is properly vetted, they weren't. First of all, we don't have access to other countries' criminal data, but as you said, this was the public information, and this has been easily found. But this administration, their main focus under Biden administration, Border Patrol had one directive: process quick, release quick. Because if there's no overcrowding, we can keep claiming the border's secure and we got control of everything. And they kept lying to the American people. Everybody releases vetted. I can't tell you how many criminals under the Trump administration we have arrested and deported that were released in the country by Joe Biden, saying they were vetted. We have arrested murderers, people that were convicted of murder in other countries. People had murder warrants in other countries. People had sexual assaults in other countries. People had sexual assaults here that they weren't found during the vetting process because they weren't vetted. The last administration lied, and that's why we're so busy right now going across the country trying to find these people.
Yep. All right, so I could go you one better on this Melvin Varela Perez. So he was nailed in Omaha with another guy named Rene Escobar Ochoa. We'll put his picture up on the screen for you. This guy had an Interpol red notice against him for drug trafficking and conspiracy to commit murder. He had an Interpol notice against him, and that got missed. How does that happen?
Incompetence. I mean, it incompetence from last administration, their directive to how Border Patrol process and releases without proper vetting. And also, let's remember, ICE was told by Secretary Mayorkas, you can't arrest for someone being here illegally. They probably weren't even looking at this person unless you had a serious criminal conviction. Not a warrant, not a warrant, but a conviction. So look, the last administration, they totally screwed it up, from releasing people from the border with non-vetting to tying ISIS hands. We had a record number, 10.5 million illegal aliens come to our border in Joe Biden. ICE had the lowest numbers of arrests and removals in the history of the agency because their hands were tied. And that's why we're working so hard under President Trump, under his leadership. We're working so hard right now, sending as many teams out in the communities as possible to look for these criminals that the last administration released in this country. And that's why we're so busy right now, and that's why you see all the teams out in every major city in the nation.
All right, Mark Zito is the special agent in charge of the Kansas City Homeland Security investigations. Here's what he said about these arrests. He said, quote, these illegal aliens didn't just sneak into our country. They brought with them a legacy of violence, terror, and death. They thought they could hide in America's heartland, but they were sadly mistaken, not on our watch. So two things following out of that. First of all, these two guys, this is the worst of the worst. How many more like them got into this country, do we know? And secondly, you're going after these bad guys. And again, these are the worst of the worst. International Interpol red notices, top 100 most wanted in El Salvador. And yet ICE and Border Patrol agents are being attacked for trying to get these guys off the streets. Comment on both those things, if you would.
Well, first of all, how many? I know that we got at least 600,000 illegal aliens in this country with criminal records walking the streets of this country. As far as how many criminals and national security threats the Biden administration released in the country, we don't have a clear number on that. We got over 2 million known gotaways. 2 million people crossed the border under Biden, weren't arrested, weren't vetted, weren't fingerprinted. They got away because the Border Patrol is so overwhelmed at humanitarian crisis. So we don't have a number. And that's why we're working so hard with the intelligence community and FBI, ICE, we're all working together trying to find these people. And look, this is why I'm proud to be a part of this administration. President Trump has given the leadership that we're not going to this zero tolerance. We're out there looking for every single criminal threat and national security threat we can find in this nation. As far as the hate, it's because the media is lying to the American people. They keep talking about ICE raiding schools, ICE raiding churches, which isn't happening. We are focusing on the public safety threats. The men and women ICE put their lives on the line every day for this nation. They're American heroes. But I knew from day one, we talked about this, John, from day one I said they're going to vilify ICE, they're going to vilify the Border Patrol, because they don't want President Trump to be successful. They hate Trump more than they love their communities. They hate Trump more than they want law enforcement, but we're not giving them to them. We're going to be out there every damn day across this nation with over 1,000 teams looking for these people. Every single day, we're not stopping.
Well, I'll tell you, Tom, the fact that two guys like this got into the country undetected, now they're off the streets, that's good. But the fact that they got it and there could be more, that is truly frightening. Tom Homan for us from the White House. Tom, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.